just start it off, Peter. Hi, Peter.
Hey,
It was you were in a rooftop, and you were celebrating something. It was a foundation that you were a part of.
yes,
What is that
it's
foundation?
the Vilcek Foundation.
So what
Yeah,
what brought you up there?
they celebrate immigrants in this country doing amazing things, and they're my oldest client, Jan and Maritza Vilcek. And Jan Vilcek is a scientist who discovered a drug that opened up a whole new genre of drugs, and I think it's he ended up he was an immigrant from the Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia, and came to NYU. And he did so well with the royalties that he built a whole wing of NYU with his name on it.
Wow.
And he started this foundation, and that night they gave away $1 million
That's-
to artists and in different categories: artists, scientists, writers. It was like amazing. It was really incredible.
How important do you think art is in today's world, given the fact that there's such a high focus on technology, science, and everything else? You think it's being ignored?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I think that true artists are like, it's incredible, like what they do. Like their creative, like juices, or like I see stuff and I'm like, wow. I always had trouble with that artist word because I never felt creative growing up. I didn't have a creative bone in my body that I knew of. And then I discovered photography and I was like, oh, the camera does it for me. I was like, I don't have to feel like I'm like that creative mentally, which I didn't. And now I realize that I am an artist. My art is done through a camera. The camera helps me do that.
That's why I like the word art because it could be anything.
Yeah.
Right? It could be someone who just speaks really well. There's an art to it. Art to sell. Art to take care of people. It's really subjective, right? It
Yeah.
really truly is. And you mentioned they were your oldest client. How did you get that gig in the first place?
Oldest client, best client, gave me my best jobs. Flew me to the only exhibition I ever did was for them. They flew me to Hawaii and I shot the cast and crew of Lost on the last day of filming. And those shots are in my studio. They're the only ones in my studio that are up that I really, really feel strongly about. And then we did an exhibition, and that exhibition got shipped to Hawaii. And there's a museum there that's got them. I don't know if they're on display or not, but they've got them. And eventually, I'm sure they'll show up somewhere. So really great project. It was all shooting all the immigrants that worked on Lost. And beyond that, I've been photographing everybody, all the winners for them, and all these different things that they do. I met them because their director, who's now the president and CEO, became a friend of mine. He lived in my building.
Yeah.
And I met him. I just picked up a camera. I just moved into this building in 2001. That was when we met. And I started working for them probably that year, or maybe 2002, 2001, 2002. And it's been amazing. And they've been, yeah, by far my best client and my longest term client that I've ever had. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. I'm curious, through these years that you've been doing work for them and just all these different things, what is the one thing you've learned from that foundation in the last 10 years? Or sorry, how long has it been?
21 years.
20.
It's been 24 years
24 years.
working for them.
It's a quarter of a century, Peter.
It's crazy.
Are you practically family at this point then?
No, I mean, I love them, but and they're the president of the foundation is a very close friend of mine. So it's a really nice, they value my work, and it's just been really nice to have them. They've also not only value my work, they have winners of these contests that they have, and they give away grants, and like I said, they gave away $1 million the other night, over $1 million, I think, or maybe it was right on $1 million. It was the most they ever gave away, but they've hundreds of thousands of dollars every year go out of the foundation toward people doing incredible stuff. And these people are from all over the country. They're all over the U.S. and they use my headshot crew to shoot everybody that's out there. Whoever, if I can't go or if I can't get to somebody, then they use one of the crew members. The other thing that they did that was great, one of my favorite other jobs, is they sent me around to photograph chefs. So they did a cookbook, like a coffee table book,
That's powerful.
for chefs, and I got to shoot all these Michelin-star chefs. And it was funny because I don't photograph food. I'm a portrait photographer, known at headshots, but they have me do a lot of portraiture. So the Lost job was environmental portraiture. With the chefs, it's environmental portraiture. It's like my favorite thing to do, which I love. People don't know this about me. I love that more than the headshots, when I get to do it. But they said to me that they had a food photographer. So I would go shoot the chef, and then the food photographer would shoot the food. And then they said, wait, we don't know if we have the budget for 2 photographers to fly all over the place and do all this. So I actually got some of my other photographers to shoot the other chefs. And then they said, you have to shoot the food too.
How was that?
And I was like, what? I was like, I'm not a food photographer. And I think I did a pretty good job. I was like, of course I'll do it. And I did my best. I think I took some cool shots of food. I wouldn't consider myself a food photographer. And I know when food photographers, they have to sometimes shoot the headshots of the chefs. It's like what I did, and it's not always going to be quite as good. But it got by. It got in the book. The shots were in the book, and I was able to do both, which stretches me, which I love.
Now I'm intrigued. What else have you photographed that's outside of your scope, whether it's because of a gig or whatever?
For them,
No, not just for them, just in general.
well, for them, I should mention, so the president of the foundation says to me, well, don't get too excited, but I may need you to photograph Mikhail Baryshnikov. And I'm like, how do you say that to somebody? Don't get too excited. You're going to photograph Mikhail Baryshnikov. I was excited. I was like, oh no. And I think as an artist and a freelance, solopreneur or whatever, you're thinking, I want to get the gig because one, obviously I work for them and I'm doing the job, and they're paying me to do it, and I'll make, obviously a living off of it. But more than that, Mikhail Baryshnikov in my portfolio, like as an artist, as a photographer, that's like unbelievable. And then just the experience of being able to photograph him. So 3 weeks went by, and then he called me. I was on like edge. I was like, I got to chill out because I really want to photograph this guy. And then I was a little green when I photographed him. I mean, it was like 2010. I would say I grew up a lot between now and 2010, 15 years ago, right? And I was nervous on the shoot. I didn't act the way I would behave today. And the story goes, this is amazing. So I'm just out of my element because I was at the Baryshnikov Art Center, and I went there and I met the assistant because I wanted to scope it out. So I went, and she's like, this is great. Let me show you where you're going to photograph him. I saw it. She goes, this is going to be amazing. He hasn't been photographed in a really long time. Everything that, all the stuff that when the last photographer to work with him was Annie Leibovitz. Huh. I'm like, yeah, great. Whoa. I was like, oh my gosh. So the pressure went from I'm shooting Baryshnikov and the last person to photograph him was Annie Leibovitz. I'm like, oh my gosh, talk about pressure. So now I'm the day of the shoot. I'm super nervous. He walks in, and I'm not myself. I'm a little bit uncomfortable, but I get great shots. I knew it. And you know what? I took a little bit of clips of the shoot, and the whole time he was just messing with me. And I was like, and I wasn't like I was so stressed that I wasn't taking the jokes as jokes. So I was a little bit stressed out. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I had like 10 minutes shooting him, and I get done, and he goes, are you done? And I'm like, yeah. And I was up on this, he had like a spiral staircase, or he had an elevator that went up to this little ledge. And I was on the ledge shooting down toward him, which was in his dance studio, which was really cool. He said, stay there. And I was like, stay here. He's like, stay there. And there were these doors, and he opens the doors. He comes up, he opens the door. He goes, come over here. And he starts thumbing through this book, and he goes, look at this. And it's these cool shots of dancers, like really cool photography of dancers. And he hands me the book. He goes, look at this. And I look through it, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. He goes, look at this. He hands me another one, and just as cool shots of dancers. Look at this. He hands me another one. I was like, what are they? He goes, I I'm a photographer. I shot this stuff. And I'm looking at it, I was blown away. He's a Nikon shooter, I guess. And I was just like, I looked at him and I was like, dude, these are amazing. Like, he's like I was like, you're the best dancer in the world. Like, this is like the best dance photography I've seen. I'm not that I, know dance photography, but these books were awesome. And he gave them to me. And then we're talking photography. And then I looked at him after like 10 minutes. I was like, you mean to tell me you need like 10 minutes down there? I'm stressed out the whole time. You knew you were a photographer. Like, we could have talked shop. I would have chilled out. We would have gotten better stuff. And he pats me like, he goes, you did great. Come on. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I left with these 3 or 4 books he gave me, and an amazing experience, and a beautiful picture of him that I love, and just a great story. And it's all because of the Vilceks. So, and he won the award that year. So I went to the award ceremony that year and saw him again, and got to talk to him. So it was very, very, very cool. It's he's definitely, when people ask me about my favorite shoots, that was one of them for sure.
That's phenomenal. That's a great story. Yeah, that's a great story, especially following.
Wait, I got to finish.
Oh,
The assistant calls me afterwards. She goes, hey, he really likes the shots. He wanted me to ask if it's okay if he changes everything online to your stuff. I was like, 3, 2, 1, shebang.
that is a great use of that one, man. Speaking of photographers, first time I'm going to ask this question. Who's a photographer out there that most people wouldn't know that you can give them a shout out? That you just love their work?
A photographer out there that I shout out sometimes.
Oh, no, you can shout out to anybody.
No, I shout out to anybody is that I really like, that most people don't know, is my buddy John David Pitman. He's a very good photographer. And he was in my headshot crew, shot headshots, became a mentor, had his own studio running, and then he went to go work for a children's hospital, and he does all their stuff.
Wow.
And it's like high level stuff. Like, he's got an eye like you wouldn't believe. And I believe it's johndavidpittman.com. He goes by JDP for short, but he's worth taking a look at. His work is really, really outstanding.
Phenomenal. I like this question. I haven't asked it before. I want to get introduced to different people and showcase people, because
He spoke at Imaging once, but then he's been kind of under the radar. He came and visited me at the studio last week, so that was cool.
I know you got somewhere to be. I have one question for you. How did this whole skiing thing went about? The first time you went skiing, I want to know, how did that play out?
Well, it wasn't the first time. I was doing it as a joke. Oh, you thought that was real?
Swear to God, I thought it was.
That's awesome.
I've never gone skiing.
No way. That's funny. Yeah, people that haven't gone skiing might not know. But if you know skiing, so I went to Aspen, and I hadn't skied in like 5 or like 10 years. I probably hadn't skied in 10 years. And maybe like 8 years. I can't remember the last time I went skiing, but I grew up skiing. So I'm a skier. But I had a couple knee operations, and I raced sailboats, and I didn't want to worry about, like, I'm pretty aggressive on the slopes, and I don't want to tweak my knees. So I said, all right, I'm in Aspen for a job. And lo and behold, I posted I'm in Aspen, and Mike Lyons is a ski instructor in Aspen. He's also a headshot crew photographer. He's a member of the headshot crew. He writes to me. He's like, dude, you're in Aspen? You want to go skiing? And I'm like, I told myself I wouldn't ski because I don't want to hurt myself. I got a world championship coming up. I'm training. I'm worried about my knees. And I decide, all right, I was like, look, if we take it easy, I'm going to take it easy. He goes, okay, we'll go. So we take a run, and I was like, shit, I still got it. This was not bad at all. So I said, look, when we go up the next time, let's do a video like I'm a beginner.
I swear to God.
And then I'm going to fall, and I'm going to look like I'm out of control. And then I fell into a tree. And then he gets on the video, and he talks about when he's a ski instructor, he's going to teach me, and he teaches me. And then at the end of the day, you see me cruising down there.
Yeah, I was like, how the hell did he get so good? Who is this guy? Oh, that is great, man. That is great. Well, Peter, man, I appreciate you stopping by. It's our second time. This time you're in focus.
This is great. Dude, you're awesome. I love it. I got to shoot you. We got to shoot tomorrow, I think.
We do. I want to photograph you as well, man. So we'll do that.
Okay.
Now we have to do the celebratory photograph. So we'll do that after we stop recording.
Okay.
All right, man. Nice seeing you again.
All right, Sean. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, man.